Hi, let's review one of the last true 3D camcorders made so far at this point. I'm holding out hope. The Sony HDR-TD30. Now there have been other 3D cameras after this, such as Red Hydrogen 1, which has twin lenses, but they emphasize for viewing on the phone in glasses-free format. But it does record in side-by-side 1080p at 30 frames a second that can be imported into most 3D video editors. And then there have been a number of stereoscopic cameras that are aimed more towards VR. They don't have a screen built in. They have fisheye distortion on the edges. It's really made for VR 180 viewing mostly with a headset. And the quality is usually lacking, the image quality. But anyway, during 3D's digital resurgence, several great brand of camcorders were made. Sony started out with the HDR-TD10 and ended up with the HDR-TD30. It's structurally very similar to its predecessors, but it's smaller. In fact, when they were introducing it, part of the marketing for that was to show a shell, what looked like the TD10 and 20, but it was a shell opened up and inside fit this to show how small it was. It doesn't have that adjustable knob, which could be used for multi-purpose, I believe, such as adjusting parallax or whatever you set it to. But honestly, that's not a big loss. What's really nice about the small form factor is that you've got this really high-quality 3D camera, but you've also got a narrow interaxial. So you got these close, good lenses close together so you can get up close to subjects and not have 3D that's so wide set it's unusable. And as with some other 3D cameras, it has optical zoom, so you can zoom clearly in 3D, and if you can get even a closer interaxial that way virtually by stepping back and zooming in on your subject. But none of the quality is lost. You've got the features like a built-in light, and that comes in handy. You've got the 5.1 channel surround mic, as well as the option for a mic input shoe at the top. You've also got a traditional mic input on the inside, a 3.5 millimeter, as well as a headphone jack for live audio monitoring, SD card slot obviously, HDMI output. But it also has something that's really nice, is dynamic stabilization. So it really has a higher than 2K resolution of what you're recording, but it detects movement and keeps things silky smooth, so you don't get that jitter. Of course, you can always turn it off or adjust the settings, the strength of it, but why would you? It's got great resolution while you're using it. It also has the XV color mode, so you can record with richer colors. And by the way, Cyberlink Power Director, which can burn Blu-ray 3D discs, also has the XV color mode. And hello, here I am in my studio, filming with the HDR-TD30 instead of my JVC, just to do some tests here. How does that look? Looks pretty good, huh? Get up way closer with this. quick word about 3D formats. This does do frame packed 3D. For those who don't know, some cheaper cameras would do half-width side-by-side 3D. This is cramming both left and right views into a single 1080p video, so it's half the resolution. But frame packed 3D has dual HD streams for each eye, high bit rate. Most cameras that did this frame packed video at 30 frames a second. And while it looks good, the Blu-ray 3D standard either has 720p at 60 frames per second or 1080p at 24 frames per second, which is what pretty much all movies are made at. So if you wanted to retain the full HD resolution, you would have to downgrade to 1080-24 from some of these other camcorders. And that means you would lose 6 frames a second, which introduces judder. Sony's camcorders were no different. They effectively recorded 30 frames per second 3D video only. Now the camera I'm recording this with is the JVC GY-HMZ1U, which is billed as the Pro variant because unlike the GS-TD1, which looks very similar, this one records at 24 frames a second, the cinematic frame rate, the Blu-ray 3D standard. However, this model right here, this HDR-TD30 in particular, is a European variant. And what is their standard? That's right, 25 frames a second. Extremely close to 24. So you'll notice those test videos we just saw fit just right into this video, which was made on a 24p timeline and mastered at 24p. And just because it's a European variant, there's no compatibility issues. It's not like region-locked movies or anything. You can edit this on any computer with any software and burn it to Blu-ray 3D discs at 1080-24 standard. So yeah, if you want to add this to your collection, make some good movies with it. This is one of the very best, and links in the description below.